this is the semi-true story of my very first powwow. Many nations united by music, dancing, and that delicious fry bread. But of course, all I wanted to do was just sit right there on the bleachers and play video games. And then this happened. Coming soon to a powwow near you. And yeah, I'm still thinking about that fry bread. It's delicious.
What a great trailer. I'm here joined with the writer and director of the new animated short film, Joey Clift. Joey, thanks so much for joining the ICT Newscast.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and thanks so much for screening my trailer. I really appreciate it.
What was the inspiration behind POW?
So the inspiration behind POW is that I'm an enrolled member of the Cowlitz tribe, and I grew up on the Tulalip Reservation. And when I was a kid, I was dragged by my mom to powwows all the time. And I spent a lot of that time just kind of sitting on the bleachers and, playing video games. And then, through kind of that process and growing up, I, eventually learned that though it's really great that I'm fantastic at Mario Kart 64, my culture is like maybe, a little bit more important than that. And also, I can love both of those things at the same time. My love for my culture and my love for video games don't have to be mutually exclusive.
And why did you make this movie?
So I made this movie because I work in the entertainment industry. I've been making cartoons for probably 10 years at this point for, places like, Netflix, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. And I grew up really loving just hard comedy cartoons like The Simpsons, Family Guy and things like that. But I'd never really been able to write or create that kind of thing with native characters and a contemporary native story front and center. Mm-hmm. And, I wanted to make something that could show that native kids can be as funny as Bart Simpson, native stories can be as funny as Looney Tunes. And, these are all things that we know that that's the case, but we've never really seen that kind of in the animated short space before.
And what was it like creating this movie?
So creating this movie was just such a dream project for me. I have wanted to tell this story for, probably 5 years or so at this point. And, I really just had a perfect storm of support from a really great funder called Pop Culture Collab, partnership with a really great animation production company called Flickr Lab. And then just through working on shows like Molly of Denali and Spirit Rangers, I just had a team of really amazing native animation talent that I was able to kind of assemble to put it together. And, it was just really great to have sort of the resources as well as just this world-class, amazing team to kind of make the story that I'm so passionate about.
Like you just said, the team behind this movie is largely Indigenous. What's it like working with a team like that?
So it's so fantastic working with a largely Indigenous team on a short like this. Partly because, if I want to, make a film that takes place at a powwow, I can know that most of my team has been to a powwow. They know what a powwow sounds like. If I say that I want one of the characters to be a fry bread cook, I don't have to stop and explain what fry bread is. And there was also just a really great back and forth with, a lot of the team. I worked with a really amazing animation artist named Morgan Thompson, who is an Annie Award-winning Cherokee animation professional. And, it was so great having conversations with her about saying oh, we've never really seen ledger art in animation before. Is there a way that we can use that in the short? And then being able to have that back and forth of, talking about not just the professional aspects of what we want the short to be, but also just oh, this is our opportunity to create a big, cool native animated short. What do we as a collective group of Indigenous people working on this want to say,
And what do you hope the kids that will watch this movie get out of it?
I hope that the native kids who watch this movie, just see a funny story that they can relate to about native kids at the powwow, screwing around and playing video games. I hope that non-native kids and native people, what they get out of this is, just this understanding about the complexities of native culture and hopefully the universal relatability that though this short takes place at a powwow and is like very, coastal Salish Pacific Northwest Native specific, it is also just kind of a universal story that a lot of people go through about like learning kind of where your culture fits in your life. And, I hope that people see that. And then I hope that, people just like learn a lot about sort of the contemporary Native experience and sort of the nuances within that while seeing, a bunch of jokes about fry bread and a kid, trying to find a place to charge his video game console.
Joey, you are very accomplished, having created Gone Native, having written for shows like you said, Spirit Rangers and Molly of Denali, to name a few. What was it like? How does it feel creating this new movie?
Thank you so much. Also, I got to give a shout out. Spirit Rangers, we were just nominated for a Peabody Award 2 weeks ago, which is big news. I just
Yeah.
like saying that because it's crazy to
Oh,
me.
that's great. I heard that.
Um,
Congratulations. Yeah.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, what is, so great about creating this movie is I feel like this for me is like in a lot of ways a culmination of all the things that I've done beforehand. So, writing for, shows like New Looney Tunes, doing, live comedy at places like the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, really, and loving shows like The Simpsons, really just like, established a set of like hard comedy chops that I'm really proud of.
Hmm.
Working on shows like Molly of Denali and Spirit Rangers really showed me like the right way to go about producing Native content with, a lot of Native folks in the team with consultants to make sure that you're getting all the cultural aspects right. We're currently going through the film festival circuit. We have a lot of really exciting screenings coming up, including Seattle International Film Festival, our Washington premiere in a few weeks. We're doing a screening on the Tulalip Reservation, literally 2 blocks away from the house I grew up in like a couple weeks. I'm so excited about that. And I hope that if it's coming to your town, that you check it out because it's something that's, a fun physical comedy short, like a Looney Tunes short or like a Pixar short, but with this like really cool Native heart that I'm so excited about and so happy that I was able to help create.
Joey, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. ICT rocks.